All right, what is going on and how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is your Uncle Steve here on Uncle Steve's Lounge on a Monday, February 27th. Don't forget, if you don't mind, push the little like button down there by the video. Appreciate you passing through just to let everybody know where we are. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We know a lot of you have, and we appreciate it. We are 56 subscribers away from 1,000, which is really cool. But you know what? Before we even get to that, I'm just glad that folks are here to talk. And that's what I'm here to do, to talk. I know it's been a while. I'm trying to think last time I was on. It might have been about a week and a half ago or something like that. So just every now and then you got to take a little deep breath and inhale, exhale. Just so many things going on in the world of sports, period. But of course, here we focus a lot on the Atlanta Falcons and what's going on with them. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about a couple of things that have kind of caught my attention. Obviously, here locally, the hiring of Quinn Snyder as the new Atlanta Hawks coach. Kind of not surprised about that, to be honest with you. Whatever Nate McMillan was selling over the last 18 months just wasn't working, and with a team. And I think it's a really talented team. I know a lot of people go heavy on the superstars, but I think this is a really good team we have here. And the A with the Hawks, hopefully they turn things around as well. Today, they did have a sit-down talk on AtlantaFalcons.com. I think Scott Barrett does things over there. Shout out to him on the digital platform that they have over there. They do a lot of good stuff. They have the little studio now up at Flowery Branch, so they're able to bring the folks in, and that's a pretty good deal. So what they did today was they had a little sit down with Coach Smith. And of course, talked about a lot of the coaching staff coming in, and he was excited to, bring in the new defensive guys, which it should be a different culture. And I'm not saying anything Dean Pease did was just not great, but you kind of infused a lot of new folks in here. So that defense, it should be some different energy up there with the defense. Now, we don't know whether that's going to be a good or bad thing, but it's definitely going to be different. So we'll kind of see how that plays itself out. I wanted to concentrate on Coach Smith when asked by Scott Barrett about the quarterback position. And I didn't have the video queued up, but in so many words, Coach Smith obviously said he had not made any decisions yet. No decision had been made on anything. So he loves Ritter's progression like Algier and like London's progression. But at the end of the day, all options are open. Yeah, all options. And I don't think he said that as a slight. I put a post on it in Atlanta Bird Gang, and thank you guys there on Facebook for joining me as well. I don't think he said that as a slight to Desmond Ridder, and a lot of people would take a word or two and run with it. I think he's saying is February 27th. We have yet to know how this thing is going to play out. Even today, Carson Wentz released from the Commanders. I'm hoping that doesn't have anything to do with us, but it's another domino in the quarterback ranks because Carson Wentz was starting last year for the Commanders. So that's another job that's open, and that's another viable backup for another team. I'm not suggesting Atlanta Falcons, but maybe somebody else. So there are a lot of things still in motion free agency. Obviously, everyone's waited on bated breath to see what happens with Lamar Jackson, whether Baltimore tags him with the non-exclusive rights or exclusive rights. That's a conversation. Aaron Rodgers came back from his sabbatical where he was supposed to clear his mind and tell everybody what he's going to do. That's going to be a big domino in this thing. The talk is kind of tempered a little bit about the Justin Fields thing because it kind of sounds like, according to Adam Schefter from ESPN, he's saying that Chicago is shopping that number one pick. And that's actually a really good move for them because they can probably get quite a bit and let the Bryce Young sweepstakes start now, because I would imagine if you're trying to get to that number one position, you're probably trying to get him. Some might say CJ Stroud, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays itself out. Chicago, that's a smart move for them to shop that around. So we're going to talk a lot about that and just how do you all feel? I know it was a short interview. It's only about 15, 20 minutes and couldn't get a whole lot out of it. But that was the one thing that I did get out of it, just for people who think that they name starting quarterbacks in February. They just don't. You need to not only get more people on the roster in here, but just to weigh things out. Listen, everyone knows how I feel about how I think this quarterback situation should go. But at the same time, listen, I'm open. I'm just like he said, all options right now. Because once the dominoes fall, once quarterbacks start really declaring where they're going, then that'll shut down some of the options out there. But for right now, all options open. I love that. I love that from the quarterback. I mean, from the coach. I'm sorry. And let's get the roll call on everybody down here. Millie Mills here as always. What is going on, my brother? Always happy to see you, as well as brother Philip in the house. Rise up. Raymond is here. Thank you, Raymond. And brother Ray is here as well. What's going on, Ray? Thank y'all for joining me on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you all for joining me on Atlanta Bird Gang. I appreciate that too. My brother Winston Thornton, as always, glad to see you in here, brother. Marina, what's going on? Love and blessings from Texas. What's going on? Right back at you. Appreciate that. Dave is in the house. Dave said, "What's up, Coach Smith said exactly what I thought he would say, and he should have said this. Nothing to see there." Well, Dave, again, you say nothing to see here. I think what the bigger point was to say that those who thought possibly the job had already been inherited and going forward, I think that's where he was just, making that plain. Dave, you're a stream killer, brother. Nothing to see, brother. Come on now. Philip says, by Arthur Smith not committing to Ritter makes for a lot more speculation. What do you take from it? Philip, I take it that they are waiting for the dominoes to fall. I think they're waiting for not only the Lamar situation, I think they're waiting to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. Not saying that they would get Aaron Rodgers, but let's put it this way. Say if Aaron Rodgers commits to go into the Jets, which it sounds like a lot of people saying he would. That would take the Jets probably out of the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes, or the Jets out of drafting a quarterback. And I tell you what, the more and more I keep seeing this, man, I'm not going to be shocked if the Falcons mess around and get a quarterback in the first round. Now I'm convinced that could possibly happen. I really am. I don't think that's the best route, because I think my hesitation with Coach Smith starting over with another quarterback scares me. But hey, if there's some miraculous way that we could get one of these guys, somebody's going to have to sell me on Will Levis for some reason. And I've seen him play, folks. It's not like I haven't watched Kentucky play over the last couple of years. But I don't know. I like him, but not sure if I'm 100% sold. Out of your Falcon mind, what is going on? Please check them out. John and Mike always putting together nice content. I think they're together on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. Say, what's cracking? About to be at baseball practice, so I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a great show. Y'all hit that like button for Uncle Steve. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I was watching you guys. Well, as you know, I popped in for a quick second over there too. Y'all check them out, folks. Francis in the house. What's going on, Francis? Good to see you. As Big John too. What is up? What is up? What is up? David Starts, my brother from another mother. What's going on? All options are open. You don't get that answer from a coach who is sure about his quarterback. That's for sure. That's for sure, David. That's the point that I'm trying to say before everyone just thinks we're grooming one guy. And you know what? Let me say hey to some more people before I get into it. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. John says, who cares about Aaron Rodgers? Again, not for Aaron Rodgers being here. Dominoes, look, the quarterbacks that one way or the other, folks, whether we get them or not, are going to be vital to what's going on in this quarterback carousel. Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, all four of the draft, the quarterbacks being drafted, all of those dominoes, whatever happens with those are going to affect how other teams go out and get a quarterback. Not necessarily meaning we're in the Aaron Rodgers sweeps. I think that would be foolish at his age. Mo Lewis, what's up? Mo said they got to bring in great talent to compete. Can't have another Matt Ryan situation. And Mo has obviously been paying attention to things. And that was what we were talking about. Folks, when we talking about the no disrespect to DJ Shockley at all, because DJ Shockley was here and he was hurt when he was backing up Matt, Chris Redman, Ben Kurt, older Matt Schaub. I mean, y'all name them. Just guys that you were not bringing in to be competition. You were bringing them in just to say, hey, if Matt gets hurt. And pretty much the Falcons for those 14 years were conceding that if Matt gets hurt, it's pretty much over with. And that's not what you want. We are too young of a team, and we are starting over in a place where you can't just say, this is the guy. Look, I'll keep it real. Even if you bring a free agent in here and Ritter all of a sudden elevates his game, you're not going to have a problem with me saying Ritter should be the quarterback. But hypothetically, we just need to bring in some talent, man. We can't just sit there and say the potential of Ritter. And I keep hearing, it's so interesting. I keep hearing people talk, oh, the games he won in college. I want y'all to go back and look at the teams that he played. And if y'all say Notre Dame, I'm just going to scream. Notre Dame is a B-tier team for the past 10 years. They are not elite. They haven't been elite in a long time. Yes, they get up in the top of the rankings, but then eventually you see what happens. They're not on Georgia's level, Alabama's level, Ohio State's level, Michigan's level. They're not up there. Oklahoma's level. They're not there. So the competition he was playing was not as great. Does that mean you can't have a great player from a smaller school or Power 5 school? Of course not. You could definitely have a talented player that plays in a lesser league. I'm just trying to say, but that does not constitute the handoff of the keys to the franchise. David says Will Levis is starting to move into that number one slot in the view of many scouts and front office personnel. Yeah, and you know what's scary about that, David? Zach Wilson. I look at how Zach Wilson jumped up over everybody except Trevor Lawrence. I mean, everybody. The measurables. And I hear, and that's what scouts do. That's what pro personnel do. I get that. A lot of folks now all of a sudden, a couple of years from now people are like, well, we tried to tell y'all about Zach Wilson. That's a lie. Folks were trying to sell you on Zach Wilson hard. There were some people saying that maybe he should even go number one. That's what scares me. But I like him a little bit, but there's nothing that makes me say, oh. See, the advantage of somebody like C.J. Stroud playing for a big-time team and going up against big-time teams is that you got that on paper against, for the most part, 30 to 40% of the guys he's playing in college are probably going to be at the next level. That's the key for that. Okay, Raymond says quarterback coach. He answered that a little bit. He was Scott Bear asked him a question about quarterback coach, and he said Dave Ragone was going to work with the quarterbacks. That's what he said. Go back and look at the interview. He said Dave Ragone, which again doesn't make me feel bad. I'm just telling you what he said. 3:30 in the house says you can't name a starting quarterback on February 27th in our situation. Not at all. Not at all. And when you're trying to sell this fan base on moving forward, there are going to be some hits and misses. You can't miss on the quarterback. You can't. You can't. This is not the time to experiment. This is not the time to have feel-good moments. You got to get this one right. And God bless the patience of some of the folks in the fan base. God bless you. God bless you for wanting to give this young man a couple of years. I don't know. Remember, it's not a first-round pick. You're going to be halfway through his contract next year. He could be anywhere from Jalen Hurts to Zach Wilson. We don't know, but I need to bring in some competition to see. My nephew Armand is in the house saying, I'm going to just want my money when Bryce goes top 5. Oh, and by the way, Coach Smith could commit to Ritter again. Interesting. Don't shoot the messenger, folks. That's exactly what I put on my post, man. Absolutely. Bryce, yeah, it's interesting to me that the height thing, Armani, that everybody keeps harping on, the closer and closer we get into the draft, the less and less people are starting to talk about it. Now people are saying number 1, number 2. I think a lot of mocks I've been seeing having Indianapolis going up there to get that pick. Millie says, I think if he was going to get that number 1 pick somehow, it's either going to be a trade to get Lamar or grab Jalen Carter. I'm going to ask y'all about that. I'm glad you brought this up. I'm going to answer your other question right quick. Billy Mills say it's Terry's job to build a team, and we makes it better is what he's going to do. Listen, I hope so. Let me ask y'all a question. I like Jalen Hurts. I'm not Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry. Jalen Carter. Love what he did for Georgia. Love what he did. Would we entertain giving up extra first round picks for Jalen Carter? Is he that guy? Now I know he's gonna be good, but is he that guy? Generational-ish? Because those are the guys that or if you're trying to get your quarterback in a pretty nice quarterback class, I can see that. I don't see us going up to get a quarterback or giving up first round picks to get a quarterback in the draft. If I'm going to give away first round picks, I'm going to get something proven. We already know where that is, where that's going. But I don't know. Philip says, it's crazy how $45 million is the new minimum wage for quarterbacks. And you know, Philip, dude, that's just the standard now, man. That's just the standard. 3 years from now, we will be talking about picking up backups for $40 million. Want to bet? All you got to do is look at the salary cap. Watch it keep increasing. Mark my words, Philip. Me, Lord willing, me and you here a couple of years from now talking, you're going to be saying, dang, man. Dang, Steve. They picked up backup for $30 million. It's going to happen. The quarterback position is just that, it's just that one. Dave says, stream killer. Wow. I've listened to this new regime talk long enough to know that the Secret Service ain't got nothing to these guys. You know I'm just messing with you, Dave. You the man, brother. Boss Trucker, what's going on, man? Say, I disagree. Ritter is our quarterback. Oh, boss, let me explain something to you. There's no doubt on February 27th. Of course he's our quarterback. Of course he is. Siri trying to talk to you. Of course he's our quarterback. There's no disagreeing about it. He's our quarterback. Now, so you're meaning to tell me, boss, that if any other talent comes in that could either push him or better than them, you're going to still wave the flag for Ritter? That's all I'm saying. Man, it would do my heart nothing better to see Ritter out there start the season if he proves himself not only during training camp and preseason, but if he fends off any veteran that comes in here. I have no problem bringing him up and letting him be the starting quarterback. But yeah, past the draft, past free agency, I think that's going to change. I think your view might change. John Harris in the house say Arthur Smith is never going to tip his hand on what he's going to do. He'll pass out at the table with a flush, and you'll never know. Yeah, of course you're not going to show your hand. I think that's why. I think people want. Well, one of the reasons why I probably addressed this a little bit, because 2 weeks ago when Arthur Blank was at the Super Bowl and people were just absolutely soaking in he really, listen to him, how he speaks so great about Ritter. He loves him. He's going to be the greatest. And not in one time did I hear Arthur Blank, did I hear him commit to Ritter. I heard him say gushing things about him. I heard him say he's going to be a great future quarterback with us. He's still under contract. Of course he is. But I didn't hear anything in the conversation to say he's our starting quarterback going into 2023. I think that's the part that I'm trying to, push forward. That's the narrative. Anthony White in the house say, I'm starting to think Anthony Richardson at number 8. If this coaching staff can mold him, he can be a star. Let me tell you a secret. I'm right there with you. If Miles Murphy doesn't grade out, maybe Christian Gonzalez, who I like, but almost wondering if that's too high. Man, that would be interesting to have Anthony Richardson here. It would be. Because listen, it's only 3 spots that's going to take up quarterback from 1 to 7. The rest of them are going to be defensive guys, and the guys that we're targeting might not be there. Now, again, I go back to It'll scare me to bring a young quarterback in here under this regime because I'm not sure what, Arthur Smith can do. But who knows? Maybe the skill set of Anthony Richardson is something he can deal with better. I don't know. But he is an interesting prospect. He is interesting. Antonio, what's up? Somebody said they seen Jesse Bates at 285 with a U-Haul truck. Oh man, I'm hanging in there, Antonio. Well, he was at dinner with a couple of the Falcons last week, so we saw that rumor now. The U-Haul, I don't know. Anthony says, I can't just sit here and give Ritter the job outright. I just can't do it. Ritter ain't Joe Montana. Ritter ain't Joe Flacco. Ritter ain't Joe fill in the blank. Yeah, that's the thing. I think we want that miraculous story. We want that, hey, we got the third round pick, and look what he turned into. Today's day is different when people I know people bring up Joe Montana, who's third round pick, and stuff like that, and Russell Wilson's and the Tom Brady's. It's the reason why those stories happen every 4 or 5 years. Because it just doesn't happen a lot. I'm going with the odds. I'm not saying Ritter can't be great. I'm just saying I'm going with the odds, folks. You gotta think like that. And I think that's why I think a month from now, you'll have a better idea. Once the free agency stuff and once everyone declares on the free franchise tags, and then we can, get away from the fantasy football things and stuff and really see who's left. There's a part of me that gets exactly what everybody's saying about Lamar Jackson and the money. I'm not stupid. Of course, you don't want to spend all your money on one person. Of course not. I still think you can do some things to be creative and pay him later. Not pay him later, but make the cap work later on. But at the same time, I also get that too. That's the one reason getting a rookie quarterback could be something to think about. You get a rookie quarterback in here on a 5-year deal and you still have control in that fifth season. If it doesn't work out, you move on. So maybe that's what it is. You bring 2 young guys in here and you let them fight on the field. Boss said he had a decent game against Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Boss said that's the best thing you got. If your best statement is he had a decent game against Georgia in a bowl game that half the people from Georgia didn't play. The better barometer would be how he did against Alabama. Again, he didn't totally suck, but that level of competition at college still gave him a little trouble. And it was Alabama. I'm not knocking that. But yeah, you got to do better than decent game against Georgia. Again, during bowl season when half the guys don't play. David says, as I put on a post yesterday about Ritter being a winner, this is the NFL, not the AAC. Somebody do me a favor real quick. David, whoever else is in here. Put me up a list of the teams in the AAC real quick. And not just so we can go over it. Bag says competition makes dogs or dog watchers on the sideline. Simple. Gotta push him. We gotta push him. Because I want him to be successful. Even if he doesn't win the job, I still want him to improve because you never know what might happen. I want him to. But you just can't hand it to him. You can't. Tajik, what's going on, man? Uncle, doesn't mean we need to bring in a quarterback. Ritter is good enough. It seems like y'all so quick to go in cap hell for a gate attraction. I wish y'all would stop with the narrative we don't need a quarterback. Hold on one second, Tajik. Did you just listen? Well, maybe you haven't listened until you said this. Todrick, I didn't say Lamar Jackson is the only answer. Last week, I was telling you Justin Fields would be a good thought to trade him. And he's on his rookie contract, but looks like that might not be happening since they're trading the first round pick. I just said a few minutes ago, if we draft a quarterback, maybe they can come in and listen. Any of the 4 top quarterbacks tested out, rated out higher than Ritter did last year. That's it. And I know, and listen, it's obvious you're leaning in Ritter's fan, and that's cool. That's cool. I'm not gonna sit here and try to act like you don't know what you're talking about. I'm glad you're in Ritter's corner. He should be. I said before, he wears the brand. As long as he wears the Falcon brand, I'm down with Desmond Ridder. Maybe right now, not as our starting quarterback. People can't accept the fact that you can kind of have that take on it. Nobody's saying get rid of Ridder. Nobody's saying embarrass him. All I'm saying is give the guy something. Give the guy something to work with. Give him a goal to reach. Give him another person on the sideline. Like I think that was Mo talking about earlier. Give him some competition. You got to. It doesn't have anything to do with cap hell. I didn't say anything about cap hell, Todrick. Not at all. Winston says Dave Ragone. Yeah, I know. Is the quarterback coach. I saw that. Goodness gracious. Bag says, my thing is people talking about cap hell, but just because we have the money to offer free agent doesn't mean they're coming to Atlanta, y'all. We're still rebuilding, and y'all got to be for real for now. Listen, that's a good point. Just because you were hypothetically, Todrick, if you were to spend money on Lamar Jackson, now, of course, he might attract a couple of one-year deal guys that might want to play with him. But for the most part, yeah, Atlanta right now, Lamar-less or anybody like it's not an attractive place to be. It's really not. Even with the money we have, think about what Jacksonville did last year. Jacksonville had $70 million in cap last year. They had to overpay folks. Was Christian Kirk worth $18 million? I love Aluakon, but was he really a $15 million a year player? And I know he had a great year, so I'm not trying to say he didn't deserve money because I would have loved to keep him here. But you're right. You're absolutely right. That doesn't mean anything. Not at all. John Brooks in the house. What's going on? Says Uncle Steve. Every time I mention Lamar Jackson on social media, I get crucified because people scared, man. People scared of the unknown. People are afraid to talk about stuff outside the box. John, don't do it. I do. I get the same stuff. I get the same thing. But the one thing I don't know. We are such a fragile franchise right now that all these options on the table, and that's why I love that Coach Smith said all these options. If it's Lamar, if it's Jimmy G, Derek Carr, even though I'm not crazy about playing either one of those guys over $30 million unless it's like 2 years, but people just get afraid of ideas. I don't know why. Maybe people enjoy rooting for mediocre clubs. I don't know. John says so now Ragone is going to work with the quarterbacks, blind leading the one that you can't see. Brother, you got to stop with all these soliloquies. Because Jaquan, what's going on, man? I ain't seen you in a while, man. Been seeing stuff about Jimmy G and Wentz. Yeah, I think what you're seeing now is a lot of just people throwing stuff up against the wall, man. Until this thing kicks off 2 weekends from now, the tampering period starts. 2 weekends from right now. That's when we'll probably be on here quite a bit. And I also tell y'all too while I'm on here, make sure at 8:00 everybody pushes their views towards Antoine Smitty Smith, 95 North Sports Talk, and Big Low Country. They're going to be doing a mock draft at 8 o'clock. Make sure y'all tune into them and get them the same love that y'all giving me. I appreciate it. Yeah, but Jimmy G and Wentz, man. Wentz has made his money. It would be interesting to bring him in, but I don't know. To be honest, Wentz might be, with his mobility, he could be an interesting thought, but I don't know. I don't know if I could pay him that much money. I do tell you this: if they bring in Wentz, then you know they're leaning towards Ritter starting. Well, stop. What's going on? Say when you put that number 9 on this year, y'all gonna see. Again, I don't care if he wears 0. if he can play, let him play. But let's see him. Even last year with Mariota, that's what I didn't like. It seemed like from day one, and maybe Smith learned his lesson with that, we were letting Mariota just grab the wheel and saying, oh, yeah, because Ritter's a rookie, he can't do it. You don't know until you put him in real competition. Mariota was named the quarterback before they even took a practice up at Flowery Branch. So Ritter truly hasn't had the other guy on the side. I love those teams that when they have the 2 guys and they don't know until the last preseason game. And then I love that situation because they're battle tested then. Yeah, it's surprising nobody wants to battle test these guys. Jaqual says Hurts is slightly more accurate and physically stronger than Mariota. Exactly. Again, a little buyer beware tag on there, but I don't know. David says, cannot give up that kind of capital for a D tackle. Doesn't affect the scoreboard no matter how good he is. And I think that's my point, David. As much as I like what he does, and as much as I would love to see him next to Grady, with Grady's motor for the moment still going pretty good, I can't give up 2 first-round picks just to jump up and get him because I'm not sure if he's that much of a wrecker. I would have thought about, be honest with you, Jordan Davis last year more than I would have thought of Jalen Carter, even though I know Jalen Carter has a little bit more of a motor. But, yeah, I don't know. Brian said, what's up, Unc? What is going on, my brother? Winston says, Jalen Carter is the draft's best talent. I have him at low-end Dexter Lawrence, high-end Fletcher Cox. And I think he's going to be a perennial Pro Bowl player and eventually All-Pro. I think I'm just not sure from what I've seen. I've seen him play really good. The last 2 games, y'all, and it's not fair to judge the last 2 games against TCU. Well, TCU, you can't really judge anything because that was a slaughter. But and Ohio State, man, Jalen, he was I'm not saying he was bad, but he was And if you're talking about trading draft picks up to get him, I got to think about that. Like if somebody takes something like a 1st and a 3rd, which they won't, which Chicago won't, then I say okay, but I don't know. Millie says, meaning that $50 million for a quarterback now ain't gonna be nothing 3 or 4 years from now when it's 60, 65. I'm trying to tell y'all. I said the next guy on deck is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts right now, without even doing anything, will ask for at least $1 more than Kyler Murray. Compare both of them. I mean, even if you talk about just team success. Obviously, Jalen's going to be ahead, but look at the trajectory that Jalen Hurts has taken. I mean, he was the runner-up for MVP and was the best player on the field a couple of weeks ago in Arizona. His agents are coming in there with no less than $40 million, without a doubt. So once that domino falls, Joe Burrow's oh, yes, sir. Oh, gonna get that California home. It's all good. Because the salaries are getting ready to go. Y'all, everybody getting, you're clinching over here and $50 million for Lamar. 3 years from now, that's going to be nothing. We clinched when Matt Ryan got $30 million. Remember for that brief week or two that he was number one before Aaron Rodgers passed him in salary? We were all clinching. No quarterback deserves $30 million. And 4 years later, you basically giving Jameis Winston 1 year deals with $30 million. And people forget that. It wasn't that long ago. Matt Ryan was the highest paid quarterback in 2018, and I think his average salary was a little bit over $30 million. Atlanta Bird Gang in the house. Y'all make sure y'all sub up my brother Tidy over there on his YouTube channel. Appreciate you. I've kind of jumped on the Anthony Richardson train myself. Listen. I mean, think about what his skill set is and what our skill set for this offense that the quarterback needed for that. And for those of you saying mobile, that doesn't mean a Negro quarterback. That means athletic quarterback. As I had a conversation with somebody about that and had to put them in their place about that. No, the athleticism of Anthony Richardson. And Anthony Richardson has a gun, but he is going to be a little bit of a project. But it's intriguing. And you get him from scratch. You talk about real battles. That's going to be a battle. John says, Millie Bills, every time I mention Lamar Jackson, I hear, it's going to put us back in cap hell and injury thing, because people's vocabulary is limited, John. That's where they stop. Lamar Jackson, money. Oh. Y'all think for 1 second that's going to cripple the whole franchise? No, it's not. But I'm going to have to let people keep saying that. Atlanta Bergens, Richardson's upside and potential is off the charts. He has raw talent and then some. And he's 5 years, and he's not going to break. He's not going to, kill you with salary. Brother Ray says, would you be willing to trade back and pick up more picks this year? Something about this draft to where I'm skeptical after the top 5. I wouldn't object to it. I don't know if I would drop down that much. What I don't want to happen is missing out on, possible stars. I don't think a lot of people have, of course, we just finished talking about Jalen Carter, and of course, Will Anderson is up there. As I keep hearing people were sliding Miles Murphy for us from Clemson, I was looking at some drafts that had him going as low as 12 and 13. Now, again, everything is subjective. So you never know. We keep talking about Michael Parsons. We talked about that time and time again. He went outside the top 10 because somebody thought he wouldn't be able to stay up at that same level. So, yeah, I would consider it, Ray. But, boy, that means we would have to hit on every pick in the lower first round, second round, third round. I know we do well with middle round picks traditionally, but this is a really important season. I don't want to miss out on anything right now. I really don't. What's up, Chuck? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in the house. Todrick says, that's too high for Richardson. We don't need a trade out of 8. We don't need a trade out of 8 if Carter or Anderson don't fall. Nobody I like at 8 other than that. Trade the pick. Okay, so you were on the same thoughts that Ray to trade the pick. I hear you. But I will tell you this, Todrick. There are a lot of mocks that have Richardson in the top 10. Not too many that don't. So I hear you. Facebook user is on here. What's up? Says, with free agents out there, whom do you see as a possibility right now? I know everybody's been talking about Jesse Bates because of his little trip down here or something. We need some safety help. We need veteran safety help. I'm seeing his number at too high for me. His value, and I'm sitting here looking at it right now, and I apologize. I just turned it on, but it's kind of rich for me. Where is he? Cincinnati, right? Wow, that is refreshing. As I said, do you know anything about the senior defensive coordinator that we hired? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I know it, and I know I heard him speak about it during the presser today, but I actually don't. Boss says you're killing me. You good, boss. All opinions, brother. All opinions, and I ain't gonna cuss you out because you disagree, brother. We all good. We all wear the brand. I see some content people that they just make me laugh, man. It's just the negative, and it's not negativity about the team. Sometimes, you get. I'm using Brother Tacha just as an example because he seemed like a good brother. He got different ideas. That doesn't mean the brother sucks. He's not, cool or anything like that. We got different opinions. But I bet you he down there at the stadium and we probably bumped into each other before the game because he care about what's going on with this team, and I do too. I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens with this team. I was trying to pull this up before I got to the next part. Jesse Bates market value they are showing at $14 million annually. That's a steep price for a safety, and safeties usually aren't super duper high. But then he coming to Atlanta too. It's not like you going to a winner. You go to a winner, you give him a discount. He's going to want to get paid every bit. Millie Bill says, let's talk about getting Lamar. Going to put us in cap hell. Yes. Hey, man. Say Easy's voice. Oh, man. Shout out to Easy E and their family. God rest them. I seriously doubt the management is going to hand him the keys. They always making players earn their spot. Well, I mean, tell that to a good percentage of the fan base who has fallen head over heels in love with him. Like he's on The Bachelor and he's one of the top 5 guys and he's already like they already fell in love. Dre, what's going on, man? I know it's a long shot, but Stevie Wonder can see signing Jackson is not a good idea. He even told Smith that himself. Well, you better leave Stevie Wonder out of this. Ritter only played 4 games. That's not totally fair to him. And it's not. And, that's the one thing that is truly not fair to him. It's not Ritter's fault that he didn't get more of a showcase. I think most of us have talked long enough to say Ritter should have got his chance after week 10 when we saw where this team was going. We were sitting up here pretending like Mariota was going to catch fire, and we wasted a couple of games. So, Facebook user says, people want the best things in life until it's time to pay for it. Yeah, good point. David, I appreciate you, brother. All right, so these are the teams that Cincinnati mostly would play, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know whether it's broken up or not, but this is the illustrious list of teams he's gone up against. And this isn't saying he doesn't have individual talent, but this is saying this is the competition. Central Florida, East Carolina, who has had time to time decent teams. Houston, yeah. Memphis, who've been okay. South Florida, yeah. SMU, Temple, Tulane, who had a out of this world year last year. Tulsa, Alabama, Birmingham, Roddy Wright's alma mater, I remember. Florida Atlantic, Charlotte, North Texas, and University of Texas San Antonio. So not necessarily a murderer's row of football powers. And look, I'll give half of that list a little credit. They could probably beat Vanderbilt, maybe Missouri. But this is not like a scary list. And the only reason I bring that up, folks, and you know, we think about it. Everybody was talking about Malik Willis last year, included. Yeah, but he got the skill set and he got this, and this is not saying Malik can't make it. So anybody who saying I've given up on the kid, nobody's saying that. But all I'm saying is that inferior competition that you play, sometimes it manifests itself in the wrong places. And last year, Malik Willis was like a fish out of water. He was not ready for the NFL. Skill set, he could outrun anybody. But eventually, you got a couple of people that can catch up with you. And those 2 games they threw him in, man, I bet you he's sitting there saying, Lord, I wish I had still been holding that Microsoft Surface because I had no business on this field. But Bag says, I think people are thinking college stat means it's going to transfer to the NFL. Players have to develop, and especially as a quarterback. Ritter would develop into near the player he could be with no competition. And we do fall in love with stats. And from time to time, it's pretty much the only thing you can kind of base things on. You know, a lot of people, I like stats and the eye test. Sometimes the eye test will sit there and tell you, like he got a little something to him, you know. And then you got some quarterbacks that throw for, 60,000 yards? What did the dude in New England, Zappy, threw for all the yards, and he can't beat, for Alabama, Matt Jones. He can't even beat him out. That's crazy. Amanda says, I would love CJ Stroud for real. He stood tall and toe-to-toe with Georgia in that Bulldog defense and took them down the field over and over just for his shaky leg kicker to miss the game winner. And those type of things on your resume, Armani, is what I think will push guys like him above the Desmond Ritter types and stuff who had a marvelous collegiate career, but to be able to do it against the high level folk, that's when you kind of see. Now, of course, you already know they're going to be some, Ohio State hadn't had a chance to, they haven't put out a quarterback and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but times change. Justin Fields, I think, is going to be probably one of those guys. I think this cat, CJ Stroud, is going to be nice as well. I think he's going to be a nice quarterback for somebody. Toy, what's going on, man? My classmate, what's up, my brother? Chuck, what's going on? Thank you so much for, don't forget the likes. Would you consider going all out to build a monster defensive line and selling for a better than average quarterback? It's a fair question. As I was talking about earlier, I don't even mind bringing in a Teddy Bridgewater, Taylor Heineke, middle of the road type cat to help push Ritter, because still you're talking about people who have NFL experience that would be able to make him elevate his game. So I don't know. Because guess what? A monster defensive line gonna cost you too. Folks are not coming to Atlanta on the cheap, Chuck. They're not. But everybody was talking about Deron Payne, which looks like, from what they're sounding like, he's gonna get franchised and stay there. They're not coming here for free. Just like Lamar, they're gonna cost some money. Hargrave, if he ends up leaving, gonna cost some money. A lot of those guys will. I was telling people, look at some of these cast-offs from, even though New Orleans did sign one of their defensive linemen today. Look for some of those New Orleans defensive tackles to possibly jump ship and come over here with Coach Nielsen. And hey, if they jump ship and wear the brand, I'm down. Facebook user said, Ritter not mobile. I don't think I said he wasn't mobile. Ron says, what's good, Captain? Dude, I am fine. I am fine. Big Low Country, what is going on, my brother? Again, like I told y'all before, Big Low is going to be on with Antoine Smitty Smith from Smitty Sports Machine and brother Berto from 95 North. They're going to be doing a mock draft over there in their particular on that channel. I wish I could join them, but I got some something I have to do right after I get off here. So y'all make sure y'all check them out for the mock draft when y'all get a chance. Miller Mill says, I think there are more guarantees in the contract is the norm, and owners are not liking that. But at the same time, they want chips, so owners are going to give in every time the player wins. And I'll tell you this: the Deshaun Watson, and this is the thing that owners hated. And it didn't start really with Deshaun Watson. You know who it started with? It actually started with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was the first quarterback to get his entire quarterback contract guaranteed. Signed, I think it was 3 years, 87 million or whatever it was. But he was the first. When that happened, that opened Pandora's box. The thing about last year with the Deshaun Watson signing that even puts it a little bit more over the top is the fact that Deshaun came with uncertainty. Deshaun came with questionable, not criminal, questionable things going on. And Cleveland still signed him to all that money guaranteed. That's I'm trying to tell you. That's something else. Miss B in the house. How you doing, Miss Bridget? Good to see you in here joining us on Uncle Steve's Lounge. I appreciate you, ma'am, as always. Ron Smith says Richardson could be the next Vic. Dude is fast, but people don't understand. Florida misused his talent. Yeah, you know, Florida it's truly turned into a swampland over the last couple of years. And yeah, you never know with the right quarterback with that skill set. I mean, I don't know. I just need Arthur Smith to show me that they can coach somebody. And I'm sorry, Arthur Smith, Dave Ragone doesn't exactly ooze confidence in me of coaching him. But I would love to see them get a chance. I really would. Jaquan said, just me, but I see the second coming of Steve McNair when I see Anthony Richardson from an athleticism and a heart standpoint. I'll tell you something, man. For those who didn't get a chance to see McNair play, y'all just didn't know. That brother was the truth. Absolutely. Brother Larry is in the house. Him and his bride are always on showing the latest live reaction videos from Hawks. I think I saw him do Braves the other day. Of course, they do the Falcons. Y'all make sure y'all check them out on their channel on YouTube. He says, trade back to 11 and 13, get Murphy from Clemson. It's funny you say that because, Larry, I was just talking about that. A lot of mocks that I've seen have Murphy dropping back. Now, it would depend on what the haul is, too. Now, I'm not just trying to trade back to get a extra 5th round pick or something like that. You know, give me something, give me something up a little bit. My brother Kerry is in the house. What's up, neighbor? Says, I think the Falcons should pick up Carson Wentz. That would be great. And Carson, we talked about that earlier. Carson Wentz would be somebody that, if y'all remember that first year or that second year with Philly, when, truth be told, if he didn't have the year he had, Philadelphia wouldn't have won the Super Bowl, because I think he started that year, I want to say 11-1 before he got hurt or whatever it was. A little bit of mobility, still questioning some of the arm strength, but in this particular offense, the way Arthur Smith runs with the quarterback, why not give it a shot? As long as it's not too much. Now, I don't care if I can pay him more than, I don't know, 20, 25. I mean, he's already made his money on the last big contract they had, so I don't think I would overpay him. But he's somebody to think about. Bigelow says, Uncle Steve is right, though. Some people can't open their minds or their vocabulary. They just stay mad all the time. That's what they do, man. That's what they do. Winston says, most mocks I've seen has Anthony Richardson either going to the Panthers or Raiders. I have seen a lot of Panthers, Winston. It's funny you say that. I do see a lot of Panther. A lot of people thinking that was going to be going to the Panthers. He also says we need a Bates. He will cover up Grant's deficiency of coverage and would look great in our new split safety look. And I was thinking about that too, Winston, with Richie Grant. I was talking, ironically, Bigelow and Smitty and Berto the other day. You know, Richie Grant's time could be short if we end up bringing in a couple of safeties in here. I mean, we are very devoid at safety, and that's such an underrated position in that secondary, just to roam that middle. We just haven't had that guy in a long time, and I think that hurts. Millie says, how much is Jacoby Myers market value? You know, it's funny. I saw a story, and I'm trying to think, who was it? Well, they were saying that he could get Christian Kirk money, but I'm answering your question as I'm looking at it right now, sir. And I'm going to pull it down for Jacoby Meyer. They are saying his value is $12.5 million. So that's about right. And I'm telling you what, he was solid for New England. You got to give him credit. He was solid. 12.5, I think about it. 26 years old. Not bad. Bigelow says, I wasn't pretending Mariota was going to catch fire. Yeah, look, nobody was. Nobody was. Ms. B says, we don't need Jesse Bates. Safeties don't win games. Not no $14 million. Now, I will say, I'm not looking for Troy Polamalu. I'm not looking for Cam Chancellor, though I would love a Cam Chancellor type guy, or Earl Thomas. But dang, Ms. B, I just need somebody a little bit more than average to come in here at safety position. And you got to agree, we have not had a lot of talent at that safety position. That just bothers me that we don't. So, yeah, maybe $14 million is too rich for Jesse. I can agree with that, but we do need to upgrade somewhere. Who's the last real safety we've had back there? I mean, it's been a second. It really has. Rico, maybe. False said, when Coach Smith said they hired Steven Jackson to coach in defense, was he talking about the former? No. Look, then you go make me laugh. Talking about the former great Falcon running back. No, that's not him. And I saw that. No, that's not the same guy. Because obviously that was the first thing I thought. And I said, wait a minute. I said, when did he know how to play defense? Now he knows how to get stopped by defenses. That's so messed up, though, Steven Jackson. Because we got him at the wrong time. Because he was really a beast with the Rams. But he came here. And actually, it's kind of funny. He did decent with the Patriots after he left us. But he was straight garbage here. Made it easy for Tidy's buddy Devontae to win that job. Todrick says, I like the content and show me and you disagree on the quarterback topic. You want us to go into cap hell for a shiny new toy. I don't. You build around the rookie with trench play. But other than that, I support you. And brother, that's what I'm talking about, Todrick. And I feel you 100%. Look, as long as the end result is us on the field with 0 seconds saying we won the championship, that's all that matters, man. All this right here that we doing between February and September is just filler until we get back to kickoff. And we'll have plenty of time to say who was right, who was wrong, and all that stuff. But Todrick, always, brother, you always welcome in here. Always. Sean, what's going on? Say Sam Howell was my pick for last year. Yeah. And Sam's gonna get a chance to start now, though. So that might not be bad. Larry says, I didn't want Willis last season, just like I don't want Richardson. Now, I will say I like Richardson's skill set against. He was hurt against Georgia, and not that they were going to come back and win. He actually showed up pretty well. That's what I wanted to see. And I don't know. It just something about in this offense, you could do something. Big Low says CJ Stroud looked legit. Shout out to Tidy. Yes, sir. All day. Chuck said Case Keenum is the perfect example of a college stat GOAT not translating to the NFL. He got his one shining moment, of course, the 2017 year. But since then, yeah, just a flash in the pan. Yeah. David says he's a leader. He's a great kid. He's improved each game. I don't hear about necessary skills to get wins on the field when the brass talks about Ritter. This is true. Boss, thank you. I appreciate that, boss. Please step in anytime you want to. My brother Anthony is in the house. What is going on, sir? What is going on? RJ, what's going on? RJ, I ain't seen you in here, man. Everything going good with you? Latoya Jones says, no, not Carson. Listen, again, if you go back to the beginning of the video, and the reason why I came on here was because Coach Smith says all options are open right now. Everything, all options. So in other words, just throwing it up against the wall. By no means am I trying to put ink to a contract today for a Carson Wentz. Because you know why? Before we get to a Carson Wentz decision, I am sure, positive, Terry has a piece of paper like this, and on that list, Carson Wentz is not in 1, 2, 3, 4 slot. He's probably down here at the bottom. So don't worry. I'm not trying to sell you 100% on that. So Deku, yeah, Deku was okay. Deku was nice. I think Rico did a pretty decent job though in his couple of years here after Deku. I got to give him some credit. John, say we will check you out later on, John. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for always joining us on here. Appreciate you. Thank you, boss. Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all pushing the like button. I like that. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all supporting the content. Again, y'all give me, if you get a chance, give me some feedback too. I just put a video on, short video, 2 minutes, on the channel. Got a new intro going on. Y'all give me some feedback, what y'all think about it. I wanted to give something that the folks can kind of get into, a little mature vibe, but you know, y'all let me know what you think. Facebook user says Jesse is a top 5 safety in NFL, so he is worth $14 million. Okay, I hear you. Brian says Willie Moe was that dude. I'm gonna tell you what. If not for injuries, Willie Moe would have been a career. He would have been Ring of Honor worthy. He was that good when he was healthy, but he could not stay healthy, and I hate that because he was really, really good, really, really good. I really think he was good. That's a nice one. Dave, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank y'all. Yeah, if y'all get a chance, y'all check that out. Check that out for me, and just let me know what you think. Billy Mill said, "Trust me, I understand, especially what Op Smith said today. He is not committed to Dez yet." Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Winston. I appreciate that. Thank y'all for all the critiques. Listen, again, I'm not going to step on my big brothers. Again, y'all go over to I think it's Smitty Sports Machine. Y'all roll over to Smitty Sports Machine. He'll have him. He'll have Big Low. He'll have Berto. They will be doing the mock draft. Please send your love over to that channel. Before you leave here, make sure y'all push the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the chat. We'll catch y'all later on down the week. Until then, y'all stay strong. Be blessed. Peace.